Hello there. It's that time once again. It is Thursday. It's time for Geek Speak. It's the end of the month. That means we are doing This World in the Month, the world of marketing. My name is Phelan with Seymour Digital Media.
And I'm Greg with Original 72 Creatives.
Awesome. And so we have more than when I saw it all laid out, I was like, oh, that's actually quite a bit of news that's happened this month and pretty
Yeah.
much every facet. So I guess let's start off with the quicker ones, I guess would be the best way to describe it. Is just, yeah, the SEO stuff. There's obviously a big algorithm update that's just finished, which was the March one. It was a big update. There was a lot of testing. People thought that their canonical tags weren't working, which is interesting. But apparently that was just people were misreading their own internal reports or something. It was a weird one that people were reporting on, but it looks like that it's again one that where they're focusing on AI and finding in this core update. They also said that they're not going to be able to do full detection of AI as it's too ubiquitous now. It's too intermixed that basically they're just if you're doing 100%. They can't figure it out at all, then yeah, or they can figure it out like just easily a quick look. Then I think they said that they would ban it, but partial usage is just it's past the point of detection, so they can't do anything about it.
So you're saying they can somewhat detect if it's all AI, but if you used AI like for like bits and pieces, they can't tell.
Basically, if you just went up to ChatGPT and said, "Make me a website with all the copy and all the images," and it just spat it out, that wouldn't
Yeah.
rank. But if it's
Right.
got like a reasonable percentage where there's gray area, they said that they're not going to be as punitive as they used to be because
Mm.
it's too hard and there's too many websites now.
Because I thought this recent algorithm update was very much on the direction of making sure they do detect the right AI related sites that they know are doing that. So are they have they said they're going to shift and not really worry about it as much or
My understanding is that they still want they're less stressed about whether you used AI and more concerned with still the quality of the if it's saying just like insane things and there's no citations, there's no outlet. If you come to the website like a regular website and it reads like a regular website and you did use some AI to write some of the content, they're not going to fault you for that. It's basically they can't the genie's out of the bottle. And so right now I think they're
yeah.
more just adapting to the new world like that.
And rightly so, like it's a tool to help us do our daily
Yeah.
tasks. And writing is a big thing. If you could get a jump start on writing something and then add it to your own words or revise it or whatever, they shouldn't mark that as content is irrelevant, not rank your site because you are producing something that is relevant, obviously, for your business, but you had help getting that information started, right?
Yeah, as long as you're using the tool correctly and you're not just trying to like spam affiliate links, then
Mhm.
I think that's a reasonable standpoint to do it. Yeah. And then I guess the other one that I noticed out in the wild was that Search Console has new filters. So these are useful for any e-commerce people. So they have new filters for how your shopping listings are showing up, and you can analyze those ones as well. Because it used to
Mhm.
be like you could do it from the query or the page, but now it's also going to be your products and your listings to see them over time. So I think that's super helpful for e-commerce people to just get more insight in how Google's seeing their e-commerce SEO.
And it looks like you have also for SEO something about self-hosted videos showing up in results now.
Yeah, yeah. So they put out so there's an update to the video schema, and part of the core update, they're also testing ranking when you type in how to make banana bread, and it has like a bunch of YouTube videos. Now you could get in that carousel, but there's like specifics. One of the ones I know is it's got to be like its own self-hosted page. Otherwise, they're just going to rank YouTube if you put a YouTube link on that page. I don't know necessarily the value. It's just interesting that they're starting to test this. Personally, I would still be using YouTube because even if you're trying to rank your own channel, it's going to be cheaper than you hosting video because that's going to be expensive and difficult to do. And then also we've got switching between the SEO and the social media is going to be that Meta has a new AI bot that they're in, and it's integrating with Bing and Google search results, which is interesting because Google, or infamously, the Facebook and Google didn't really get along and
Mhm.
saw each other's competition. So it's interesting that they would be. I wonder how they enable that part as well. If Google's like affirmatively allowing it, or if it's like they're just tapping into an API. And
So is this the same as what they're calling Llama 3?
yeah, speaking and then going off on that,
Right. So don't mean to shift. I'm not fully up to integrations with Google, and but I know they also had Llama 3, and I don't know if it was all the same thing or if they're separate items.
yeah. So my understanding, like Llama is the algorithm. And then the interface that we're talking about is like an AI assistant. You know how you talk to your chat GPT.
Yeah.
So what they're doing, the Llama is like a big breakthrough on the algorithm side of how to process data and give information back. And then,
Gotcha.
but yeah, the chatbot that we're talking about uses Llama to get information. So it's more just like how their interface uses data and where it derives that information from. I think is a big one that they're wanting to mention. Also with Facebook, because I remember we were talking about this, that you're saying that you're noticing more and more AI content
Mhm.
visible on the platform. And yeah, and it's because that Meta has relaxed AI rules around AI content generated. Similar to Google, the kind of the horse has left the barn kind of situation, that they're not going to be able to undo it. They can't just put a ban. And so now they're trying to find that compromise in the middle ground where they're going to allow some of it, but not.
I would suppose if you're integrating AI into your own platform, you can't the use of AI to go onto your platform.
Yeah, those two things, it would be weird and contradictory. Like them to be like have a little tool that's AI powered and then not allowing it on the platform.
Yeah.
And so I think that one's going to be interesting to see where that kind of goes. I know that like the image generation you were noting has gotten better of recent note. It still does some weird things where, you ask for it to take out the chopsticks and it adds more chopsticks to the image, but it is getting better with doing some drawings. It
Yeah,
can almost spell.
I really wish I had more time to play around with all of this stuff. I just don't have the time to test it all and play with it, have some fun between all of the work that I have to do.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I
yeah,
think
it all sounds fun. I should actually look a little bit closer at Facebook and what they've got going on for the AI now, just to see what they're doing.
yeah, for my own sake, I find the only part that's annoying is like all of these companies having their own like competing like chatbot widgets that like I'd have to go try them and see if I like it. Now you have to like it's a lot of, for me, it's a lot of lead up time because I'm just like, well, I'm just going to use ChatGPT because I've already done most of my work with it. So like, why would I go to a new one I'm going to have to like train it in how I want responses and figure out how it gives me responses. So I find
Yeah.
it a little bit annoying that it's like everyone having their own streaming platform. Like I'm not going to do that. I just want one. I know that would also be bad is to just have one.
Yeah, the comparison that's coming to my mind right now is it these are the AI wars like we had for browser wars when the web first started
Yeah.
becoming super popular and building websites for me in the early 2000s. You needed to build put in code differently for each of the browsers so that websites displayed properly. And because all of these browsers were fighting to add functionality and nobody did it consistently with, HTML, CSS standards, following any of those web standards early days. And I feel like AI is similarly going through a war between everybody who's trying to do AI related stuff and put out these tools. Which one do you use? What talks to what? It just reminds me of those early days of browser wars.
Oh yeah, no, the vibe, or the lamp stack wars when it was like Drupal, WordPress, and then who's going to come out on top. Same for what's it, the jQuery, because jQuery had like a bunch of competition when it first came out, and then they just wound
Yeah.
up winning because it, yeah, like splits out. Everyone kind of finds one, and then that one just takes over, and it has market dominance. They're just
Why can't we just all get along at the beginning?
yeah, and of course, the person selling shovels in this gold rush is, of course, NVIDIA, who's making like an absolute killing selling all of these GPUs to everyone to process all this stuff. They've
Walker's been doing well for a couple of years now.
yeah, they're doing okay. Chip manufacturing is definitely the way to go if you can do it. It'll be interesting to see how it does end up if there's consolidation, because they all have big backings. That ChatGPT is backed by Microsoft, and so then you still have Google, Meta having their own. Amazon has their own, but it's like internal, because theirs is all about like robots, right? Like they want to do a lot of. Though funny enough, I didn't put this in the notes, but did you hear what happened with the Amazon Go store? That store that you could go in and just take something and there's no till.
Oh,
And
no, I didn't hear anything about
they quietly shelved the entire project because it turns out while they may not have been hiring people in the States to work the stores, they had thousands of people in India going through the video footage and attributing. There was no AI. It was just a guy. It was basically a mechanical Turk. Like it looked like a bunch of fancy parts, but it was just a bunch of people somewhere else doing all the work.
Yeah.
And so once they had to admit that part, the project collapsed on itself. And so the great replacement of us by AI bots. I don't think we have to worry about just the second.
Moving on from Meta's AI stuff and the popularity or rise of their large language model, that I heard OpenAI did release some new features in the past week, I believe, to corporate customers. I wish I took a look at the actual article, but I did see something about how because Facebook or Meta's stuff was gaining popularity, they did release some new things within OpenAI's offerings.
Ah, okay. All right. I hadn't seen anything when I had logged in, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised in the last bit that if they had done something like that. Oh.
I'm just looking to see, do we have any other AI stuff? I don't think we do, but
I know the AI stuff. Yeah, it's Gemini also got released on the workspace as well. Like I think outside of the US, because now I can use it on my own workspace. It's rather expensive, so I'm like, because they charge you per user, and it's like, no, I'm not paying that much if it's gonna.
oh, really?
Yeah, it's part of the
Workspace. It's a per user
model.
Yeah.
And it was like $30 per head, which I have 6
per
people
month.
in mind. Yeah, per month. So I was like, that's a lot of money to go out the door for that. So
Yeah.
I was not chomping at the bit, because they kept saying, "Oh, get a free trial," and every time I tried to do the trial, they're just like, "Hey, put in your credit card details," and I was like, "That's not how a trial works. You need to like let me know that it's going to be a trial period." And yeah, it was not my favorite there. But on the note of Google products, we also have that the YouTube's now opening up like an affiliate hub. So I guess it's like a marketplace for people that want to. You want to promote a product and get paid affiliate. It's just a good way for just do a marketplace for people who want to do affiliates and people who have affiliate links. I think it's a good matchup, and it makes a lot of sense for YouTube, honestly. Um,
Yeah, I can see people using Affiliate Hub to try to promote good exposure on other people's popularity, just refreshing content or trying to sell things on other people's videos.
I would say I think it's a good one as well for like small channels that are just getting started and wouldn't necessarily be able to do like an affiliate link like right off the get-go, but it's a good way to pair the two together, that if you do need some, it's a good way to make some extra money, especially if your message of your channel lines up with the product that you're doing the affiliate link for. Then I think that's a good combination there. So I guess also we got to talk about the elephant in the room for social media, which is the U.S. is signed. The TikTok ban was signed into law yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. So it's already going to be challenged in the courts. Like I don't think it. And they've also, the sale doesn't have they changed it from 90 days to 360 days. So
The year.
yeah, so it's going to be a year from now, which is going to be after the elections and all that stuff. So it won't be like, I think they're just trying to kick the can down the road to make it not a live issue. And so I think that it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. It's hard to say one way or the other because there isn't really like a background you can map this to. Like it's a bit unprecedented to have a company like this to go through a situation like this. So I'm interested to see how it's going to shake out in the end.
Yeah, they've said they're going to fight it. And the CEO himself posted a TikTok, or maybe he posted a TikTok saying they were going to fight it. And I had read somewhere else something about if they were forced to, they were going to sell it, but without the algorithm, which they feel is what makes TikTok. Besides the so, yeah, it'll be interesting over the next year to see how that goes. Personally, I've been thinking about it we have so much social media out there. I know TikTok, because of its algorithm, is a fun place to be and see stuff, but I'm not gonna miss TikTok if it goes away. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah,
Because there's Instagram, there's Facebook, there's
was too
YouTube.
shorts.
There's no shortage of places for creators to put their videos and for people to follow them.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I'd
so
agree that it's not. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off there.
so to wrap up my thought, it's just so, that's the reason why, if for some reason TikTok was sold or went away, like I really don't think I'm gonna miss it. Although there are tons of people who do make a good living with the followers that they've gained on that platform. So it's gonna hurt a lot of people who have that on the platform. But for
Hmm.
me personally, I don't use it for anything other than just scrolling when I'm not working. And I'll just do that on Instagram.
I think it'll be interesting because I just saw a poll this morning of 18 to 24-year-olds. Majority of their news comes from TikTok. So it's interesting to see how that will shake out with them. I don't have any, yeah, like you said, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it, but I'm happy for them to go to the courts and fight it out, duke it out with them, because I think this is a bit unprecedented to have a company get banned. Yeah, just thinking of the mechanics of how you would actually do that. I'm just like, would you like IP block them, or like how would you like, um, yeah. So just
Still on TikTok, they also did release a feature. I don't know if it's worldwide release or just to some people, but you can do text-based posts now, which is interesting.
yeah, I'd say they're trying to take over that Twitter market.
Yeah, I don't know if Twitter, maybe some Twitter. I was thinking of it more from an Instagram and
Oh yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. Let's see what.
thing, but yeah, I don't know. I just know that this was something that I had seen recently, that they're now rolling out a text-based post option on the platform. What it is exactly, I don't know if it accompanies video or imagery at all, or if it is strictly just text.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
to,
If
I
it,
have to look.
yeah, if it's strictly text, then yeah, definitely. Yeah, when you said Instagram, yeah, I realized, yeah, it's not the Twitter. It's much more the Instagram post of text on screen kind of situation. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they integrate that because it's not really one I associate really with like text-based reading.
They've always been just video based, and it's always been their bread and butter. So introducing the text, I don't know what they're thinking there was. Were people just wanting to be able to, because everybody was on this platform, be able to just like something out in text and be able to post it on their platform? Who knows?
Yeah, it's hard to say, and also that they do still take stuff from the parent company, the Chinese ByteDance. They
Mhm.
do like some of the stuff like the e-commerce one was really popular with TikTok in China before it was ever even integrated here. And so I think that
Mhm.
there's some aspects of like it having its own parent company that maybe they had a lot of success, so they tested it out and figured out a way to implement, because you can collect a lot of data from a billion people using an app and trying to then try to retrofit some of that stuff for TikTok over here.
Yeah, I think we're done with social and AI. Maybe we just jump back onto search because we didn't mention about Google's shift from conversions to key events. And I know you probably have maybe a couple things to mention about that.
But yes, it's very annoying, and I wish they had telegraphed it. It's just part of my larger.
It's just a wording change. So
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
more behind this, right?
As far as I can tell, no. Yeah, because basically conversions were just like it has a special, it's an event that has a special attribute saying, is this a conversion? True. And then because if you have those, then what it does is it enables you to do conversion paths. So it's, oh, this person before they converted, they like saw a Facebook post, then they went to my website, then they saw like my Google ad, and then they converted through. So really that's the core reason why you want to have these set up and why it matters compared to, and I get it is a bit of a naming convention. It's just part of my larger grievance with Google is that they do a lot of changes to the platform, but they don't really do a good job at telegraphing or letting people know.
And I remember you irrelevant stuff, like will post it.
Oh, their new login screen. They like,
about
yeah, they like let me know that, oh, the login screen's changing. And then it was like just a matter of two buttons were next to each other. Nothing really else was on the page. It was barely like worth of time to rewrite that code. But there's moments like that where I'm just, wondering, is this the best use of your resources as a company? When,
I was helping a customer yesterday with a bunch of their Google services. Both of us, by the end of our conversations and dealing with this, were saying we really hate Google. They make things so hard.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that they've just made worse, and they just didn't, like, the improvements that they thought they made were not there, like redoing the Google Ads platform. So it's like this uncanny valley where it's similar to how the old one was, but everything's a little bit off. So you're like, how do I find where to do the policy manager? And then you're looking like a fool in front of your client when you're like, oh, I'm trying to click around to find something, and I swear I know how to do this. They've just changed the platform on me. Yeah, so that part could be annoying.
Yeah. On to web stuff. We got 3 minutes to get through our web stuff.
Oh yeah, we
nothing major. WordPress 6.5 was released. I didn't see anything major with anybody upgrading. However, either in a subsequent release after, they're at 6.5.2 because there was a XSS vulnerability was discovered and patched. And I know you mentioned, I didn't hear about this one, but one of the more popular page builders, Beaver Builder, apparently had one as well that you had seen.
Yeah, I saw the news on having to this. They're coming out all the time. Web security is always like a constant game of cat and mouse where you're trying to find every little vulnerability, and yeah, these things happen, and that's why it's good that the big ones get these because they can fix it. They have the resources to go and fix these issues and fix them relatively quickly. So just make sure you keep your stuff up to date, folks.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And finish off web stuff. There were 2 acquisitions or purchases by WordPress of some interesting companies. One is a messaging app called Beeper. The other one is an all-in-one messaging app called texts.com. So yeah, speculation on what WordPress has behind those acquisitions and what that could mean for something coming to WordPress. I haven't really thought about it too much, but it could be interesting with those 2 acquisitions, what potentially might be coming to WordPress soon.
Yeah, my gut's telling me that it's probably SMS and multi-channel messaging for especially WooCommerce. It'd probably be my guess.
Yeah.
Because that's the one that makes sense. I personally don't like it, but I know that it's very popular in the States to have texting for like updates about.
Or your packages or
Yeah.
your order has been processed or like,
Yeah. And then later on, like you do text messages of, hey, this Mother's Day, don't forget to get a blah, blah, blah. Click here. And then it like takes them to the website. I don't like that functionality personally, but the other people do. And
I don't mind it for certain things because uh, t- I find that text much less annoying than an email.
uh, and yeah,
So,
I'm more of the opposite. So it's just more, it's personal preference, really. That's what it
yeah.
boils down to. But yeah, I think that, I think we're both at the same conclusion that it's got to be WooCommerce SMS functionality. And it makes sense that they would be.
Marketing related stuff to add. And the chat stuff, maybe they'll try to incorporate their own chat into WordPress as opposed to having to use some chat like to have the would you like to talk to someone?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
thing have a feature like that directly built in with WordPress.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's definitely very conceivable in the future. But I guess with all of that being said, we are out of time. Uh, and if you have any other news or anything, feel free to post in the comments. We're happy to respond. You could join us over at Cyberpunk Geeks Marketing Mixer, where we continue this conversation. And we'll also have a Geek Speak next week. Do you know the top?
Yeah, it looks like Pip and Arena are going to be back and they're going to be chatting about Instagram and Facebook strategies for 2024.
Awesome. That sounds good. We'll be glad to have the ladies come back. But yeah, all that being said, my name's Phelan.
And I'm Greg. Thanks for joining us.